Hey, what's your favorite DBZ opening?
Chowder. Is that what it's called? Chowder?
The Chala.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's good. I like We Got a Power. Yeah. I don't know. I just want to ask that question.
Dynamic and clear!
Hello and welcome back to Dynamic Entry. It is me, the professional henchman, persisting as always. Much like the title we're going to talk about today, because it's out, folks. We're back in the beautiful Budokai Tenkaichi era, but it's got a new coat of paint. It's got a few new mechanics. Some people love it, other people are complaining about it, but hey, that's the internet. That's what we do, right? Today on Dynamic Entry, I'd like to give you some of my preliminary thoughts on Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero. So, Sparking Zero offers a variety of ways to play. Whether you go through the character-driven episodic stories in the game, custom battles, which allow you to put together your own DBZ missions with specific characters and NPC characters that you put your own little scenes against. It's a whole thing. You've got tournament modes, you've got online if you want to throw hands with other people around the globe, and even Girl Talk, which surprisingly has been like one of the best features of the game. It's pretty comprehensive.
He proposed to you at the World Martial Arts Tournament, didn't he?
Yep, we made a promise to wed when we were just little kids.
Though I agree with some of the comments I've seen, I would have liked to have 18 in the Girl Talk for a little bit of snarkiness here and there. But overall, it's really cool to see Chi-Chi Bulma and Videl kind of commenting on everyone and everything. Neat. I like that kind of world building stuff. The story battles are neat. I do like the fact that you get an option to play as multiple different characters, not just Goku, but, you know, Piccolo, Goku Black, Frieza, Gohan, and a myriad of other folks. I like that during the cutscenes of these episode missions, you can go from the standard cinematic perspective to the first-person perspective and see what things would look like from those characters' point of view. It's a really interesting and neat feature for Dragon Ball Z. I never expected that, and if the animation was a mite sharper, I think it would be really cool. It would have been nice to see something like that in Kakarot, actually, if I'm being completely honest, but I don't know. Speaking of Kakarot, sometimes the game kind of gives me the same vibes in the way it's like delivering certain storytelling beats. If it wasn't for the fact that Kakarot was like a full exploration onto like other little nuanced details of Goku's story and everything from like Z up, whereas Sparking kind of just like throws a plot point at you and is like, hey, this is when Krillin died. It was pretty sad. Goku got real mad. Here's the fight. It's really fast, and they don't give you a lot of time to like get into all the nitty-gritty moments of the game. But to be honest with you, I was expecting more of a kind of like skimming anthology delivery with this, so I'm not surprised. I wasn't expecting this to be some like groundbreaking, lore-driven, like beautifully animated cinema thing. It's not what this was ever going to be. It was just supposed to be getting a bunch of characters in the game and getting them to fight each other. That being said, the character selection's a little weird. You do get quite a few different characters, though it doesn't seem like they gave a lot of love to the roster, if you ask me. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of slots on the roster, but there's also a lot of spaces where it's like, this is Goku, this is also Goku, and this is Goku. They're all base form, but one of them is from Z, and one of them is from Mid, and one of them is from End of Z. And then there's all the Super Saiyan forms. And then there's the fusions. And then there's, well, then you got Vegeta, and then you have to go through all of Gohan's forms, and then there's free, like, so many slots are taken up by the different individual forms, and like, there are differences in the super moves or abilities available to you when using these characters, or in some cases, you do get slightly different, like actual like combos. It's just pressing square and stuff, really. It's not like crazy in depth. So to me, I just feel that it's really weird that they decided to go that route, given how many characters are like really in the Dragon Ball universe. And if you look at the last Tenkaichi game that came out, which I think was Budokai Tenkaichi 3, I mean, they had like Devilman and shit. It was awesome, but they used slots on those like cheeky little characters and whatnot. And I think that would have been a better use, to be honest with you. I like that the power scaling thing is kind of wonky. It is funny to see Chaozu just like dogging everybody in the Dragon Ball universe. That's awesome. One thing I had seen on the internet is people were like, man, it's crazy that they just threw in the Super Saiyan 4s, Oob, Pan, and Sin, and Omega by extension, but not really anybody else from GT. What I further read was that apparently they found Super 17 in the game files, which, surprise, surprise, we're going to have to probably buy everybody else, but I mean, they're likely in there. I would not doubt more often than not, these characters just get released as DLCs. That's one decision I'm just not gonna be thrilled about with this game. Another being screen sharing, and that seems weird, but let me explain exactly. So I was trying to show off the game to friend of the show and fellow co-host Benny, who you've seen many times here on Dynamic Entry, over PSN call. You know, we were on at night, and I was like, hey man, I made this custom battle. I want to show you what it looks like. I made my own little cutscene. It's very cool. I'm very proud of it. And you know, when I went to share the screen, it didn't show him anything. Like, everything was dark. It just said that he couldn't view any of the content on my side, and it was anywhere in the game. And I'd seen some messages here and there when I was like listening to certain tracks in the game that it turned off recording, and I expected it to turn off recording for, like, you know, the main content of the game, like the story and whatnot. But to completely shut off the process for like the whole game is just really weird. So another you shouldn't be surprised moment for me, because I shouldn't be surprised that I can't fully utilize every feature of my PlayStation on the game. But it's also like, I bought into the fucking PlayStation. You would think I could show my friend something on the PlayStation who also has a PlayStation, because we all bought in, but I don't know. But really, that's neither here nor there. Let's get back on topic before I start going down a negative rabbit hole. Custom missions. I mentioned that, right? So custom missions give you the opportunity to choose either playable characters or NPC characters to appear in your own kind of ad-libbed scenes. And then you can set up battles with particular conditions. You know, do you want characters to automatically transform when they get to 50% HP? Do you want someone to use their super move as soon as they switch in, or maybe cause a fusion to set up like a really cool movie moment? You can do all that stuff. Though I really mean it when I say it's like an ad lib, because you kind of just pick options that pre-exist and then you swap out certain words, or you swap out characters in a scene, much in the way you would just like a standard editing tool. And it's great and all, don't get me wrong, I do like the opportunity to play around with my action figures, but you know, I think it would have been a lot funnier if we could like edit the text and whatnot. I get it, like Bandai Namco probably didn't want a bunch of the drink Trunks missions going up, or like Cabo Bites the Curb or anything like that, but you know, I still think it would have been funny if you would have given us control. It just feels uninviting overall, if I had to pick one thing. Like, the controls are fun, and there's a lot of like really specific combinations you have to do for like guarding and advanced guarding and flight and the dragon vanishing system and counters, perception, true perception. There's some cool stuff, but there's just so much unappealing corporateness about this game that I'm just like not falling in love with it as a whole. And I mean, I'm a Hispanic guy that plays Dragon Ball from the Americas, so you could bet I do like it, right? I'm biologically obligated to, but I don't know, like, I would rather just look on the shelf and grab Tenkaichi or Burst Limit, for that matter, and play one of those more than I would really invest in this until it gets probably some more support and more consistent character releases. I mean, it just came out. I'm not expecting the world from the game, but I don't know. I don't want to play as all 19 Gokus and still have to wait for 5 more Gokus. I heard that there's like a music pack that you have to buy too, which is like $15, but it has some of the anime music in the openings, which, you know, I think overall, for the price point and everything else that you're getting, it's an experience for sure, and I give it like a 7, a 6 or 7 out of 10 numerically. And I'll play it. I'll keep playing it because there's going to be things about it I enjoy, like the custom battle system, the world tournament system, and just playing with my buddies. But I don't know. So those would be my preliminary thoughts on Sparking Zero. I kind of ranted and was mostly negative. I didn't try to be, but you know, I just really wasn't all that impressed once I finally got my hands on it. That's just my take on the subject. Maybe you feel differently, or maybe you could enlighten me as to the things I'm missing out on the game. And I'd be more than happy to have that conversation down below in the comment section. Or if you agree with me, you know, you could like and share the video and send it to a buddy and be like, hey, I also don't think that Sparking Zero is like the best Dragon Ball Z game out there right now. Like this guy said, you know, you could also subscribe and see some of the other videos. And they put out a really good video recently. It's cool basketball stuff. I don't know a lot about basketball. I learn every time I watch stuff on my own channel. Isn't that fun? I think that's fun. Well, anyway, I'm going to get out of here before I take up too much more of your time on this. Yeah. Peace.